was a lovely night, wasn't it?
Yes, it was, and at last we have a bimini weather.
We do. Well, it was so sunny yesterday, we thought we'd put the sunshade up. I think it will double as a rain shade today as well. But it's lovely. We're about 4 miles away from Swing Bridge that apparently the farmer historically has always had right of way over the canal, and he's lambing and sheeping, whatever that means, at the moment, so it doesn't get open until he says it's going to be open, and it's going to be open today at 9:30. So we're making our way up here, the convoy being led by the French Navy, to put a raid on the bridge and demand that they let us through. Sheep and lambs be damned. No more Mr. Nice Guy.
Welcome back to Adventure Now, where there is mischief in the air. For some reason we all have our mad moments, don't we? And on this day, anyone was going to get it. Sometimes I forget that this is destined to go out on the WWW, but then I think, what the heck, let it roll. I think our differences should be the joy and spice of life and should unite us, not divide us.
Frenchie stopped. I see resistance ahead. Selecting reverse. Full speed reverse. We won't be putting that in. Why not though? What the fuck? Why not there? I will see to it that the job be done. Or A, we'll have a fucking go at D.
You got to make your way towards the bridge, it's just about to swing over.
Okay, let's go.
Got it, we are moving forward.
Limited only by perception, not limited by our state. Capable of anything, and yet we sit and wait. But wait for what? Whose approval do we need? And how can we not see that we are everything that ever has been and everything that will ever be? You can always tell a Yorkshireman. You just can't tell him much.
Your phone goes down to you.
Okay.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
To be honest, I'm not certain he was from Yorkshire. I was just happy to be able to translate it.
Well there you go, sending ropes down. Very helpful.
Awesome.
So they're coming out the reindeer?
I have a dry rope. Did you call me a reindeer?
Yeah. Rudolph the red-haired reindeer. We've got a bit of a step up here. Looks like about 7 or 8 feet to rise in the chamber, and they are throwing long lines down from the top because it's quite a long way to throw them up. So I'm just waiting for the Frenchies to get themselves sorted, and then we will follow in, and Wet Wheels, the catamaran behind, is going to go on the starboard side. So the same thing every day, the same thing every time. Works well.
Isn't that just as you like it?
Oh, it is.
It is, yes.
Creature of habit.
Yes.
I guess I am a creature of habit, but I don't see anything wrong with that at all, as long as you strike the perfect balance between good and bad habits. After all, everything in moderation, including moderation itself. And no, I won't be taking the piss out of our neighbours in the loch. Despite appearances, I'm not that stupid. Especially when it turns out that someone who is disabled is actually just as able as yourself, the piss taking should actually flow the other way.
Safe passage.
Thank you. Same to you, and see you.
See you around.
No overtaking, by the way. They do 50 knots in that. So
Really?
they're probably going to go past us at about that.
Living up to her name, the cheetah catamaran seemed to stalk us. We were fine within the confines of the canal, but out in the open, we didn't stand a chance as 600 horsepower propelled her into the future. Awesome. Bon voyage, guys. And Jeff, well done. That's the most badass mobility scooter that I've ever seen. In order not to be outdone, or miss out on any of the fun, we were flat out too. 6 knots, with everything a blur. And in the blink of an eye, well an hour actually, we're at the end of our first open water stretch of the Caledonian Canal.
Yeah, we've got to go through starboard side too here, so we just got to transfer some lines across. up to you whether we use our mooring lines and leave these ones, or we transfer these ones. What do you want to do?
Oh, we can transfer those over because it's easy.
Awesome. I love the bimini and the daylight today. So nice. Stay dry. Absolutely lovely. Asha's got a 3-year-old, so she's okay. Aren't you, dear?
Whatever you said, my love, of course I'm the best.
Like every man whose little boy self is alive and well inside, I find places like this rather creepy. When I was a young boy, I would scare myself when I read an adventure book called The Forest of Doom. So when I look into dimly lit wooded areas like this, it reminds me of monsters, ghosts and ghouls. Creeping through this countryside and thinking how little foot traffic these woods get, I couldn't help but think of the monsters dwelling within. But not just of monsters hiding in the woods, or reptile-like creatures peeking out from under waterfalls, or trolls living in the dark under bridges. I also mean those shadowy figures that live within us, our demons.
The rain has eased off and we have now reached Caledonian Loch, which is the part of the canal where we start to descend. So it's quite nice to be going down.
As adults, we turn our backs to our childish fears and to our demons, but our demons only fester and grow.
Gotta be honest, it's a cute place, but it's definitely a tourist trap. It's just restaurants, souvenir shops, and planting the seeds of hope that we'll spot Nessie. And I think that myth may be been busted by now. But anyway, we've got a queue, we've got a few people coming down the flight, a lot of charter boats, so they're letting the 2 sailing boats go in first. Hopefully that will keep us nice and clear. So I think 4 locks, Asha, today to get down to Loch Ness. Let the fun begin. We have the charter boaters, and I am not taking the piss. I am just entertained, because boats are a cruel mistress. And I know cruel mistresses.
Oh yes, you do.
I remember not wanting to be alone in the dark, not wanting to look under my bed, not wanting to look inside. But now I know the simple truth. It is only when you look in the places that you least want to look that you find the light that banishes the ghosts, ghouls and demons that live within.
Just one more lock gate and the swing bridge to go, and we are free to go and search for Nessie. The monster out of the ship rather than the monster in the ship.
Boo.
Fort Augustus is listed as a must-see place along this route, and it was a nice little stop for us. We stayed the other side of the flight of locks last night, and we were going to stay here tonight. But we've walked around the town and we've been part of the spectators watching another yacht go that way through. But there's a nice breeze, and now I think we're going to take advantage of that and sail down to Uart Castle, which is 15 miles that way in Loch Ness. And who knows, we may spot Nessie along the way. I've heard it said, and maybe I've said it too, that you don't come to Scotland for the weather. But I've decided that I've been wrong about that all along. We do come to Scotland for the weather, because we love it, whether it rains or it shines. It's so lovely. Even when it's grey, all the greens come out, it's beautiful. And when it's sunny, all the purples of the heather shine through. But above all, this is just incredible to me. We are sailing down or up Loch Ness. This is a place that I read about as a kid. I wanted to come fishing here when I first got into fishing, and I read about it when I heard about the Loch Ness Monster. So all these years later, to be sailing it on the boat is absolutely fantastic. It really is a realisation of a dream, and I'm not sure I realised that until right now. So we're going to enjoy every mile of this. Being in the moment is always where you should be, and this moment is a fine one. the observant will have noticed that we now have a roof over our head, and that is because it got a bit chilly for us and a bit wet, so we put the cockpit enclosure up, and cruising down here in the warmth we can see Gandalf 6, our canal buddies. They are coming the other way. They came down to Uart Castle earlier and now they are tacking back up the loch, so hopefully they'll come past and give us a flyby, because she is a fine ship. Nice, eh?
That's fabulous.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
Gorgeous.
Absolutely lovely. We had a bit of a lay-in today. It's 8 o'clock. We tend to go in cycles between getting up at 6 and 8:30, and we've been on an early shift lately, but today we gave ourselves a lay-in and it was absolutely beautiful to wake up in this anchorage, in this expansive part of Loch Ness. We really love the canals, but I think as soon as we get back out into the open spaces we realise that this is what it's all about for us. This is absolutely lovely. I don't think this good weather is going to last. I think we have some clouds that are starting to appear. So we intend to go ashore and have a look at Uart Castle before any rain. And then we may stay here for another night, or we may make our way that way towards the top end of Loch Ness.
What a view they must have of Loch Ness, and I think it's incredible. Do you know they're powered by lithium batteries?
Oh, I heard about that there are entire fields of windmills and they are charging those things before they fly.
So now, going to war is green, 100% renewable.
Excellent.
Awesome, eh?
Isn't that awesome for all of us?
Oh, it's brilliant.
Oh, thank God for that.
Thankfully, those 100% renewable and 100% green war machines flying overhead are only here for practice, and maybe it's just a coincidence that they choose to practice here, an area that has seen many battles over the years. Uart Castle was a medieval fortress for 500 years, and during that time, control and ownership of the castle passed back and forth between the battling Scots and English during the drawn-out wars of independence.
It's obvious when you look on the chart, and also from the lack of anchorages, that this is such a steep-sided loch. It just literally follows the contours of the hills down, because that we're right near the shore now, and only just, if you look over the side, Asher, can you see the bottom. But as soon as we're a couple of dinghy lengths back, we are in deep water. It literally is sort of 100 metres deep, only 10-12 metres off the shore. It's incredible. So that's why anchorages are so few and far between. Hence why we anchored in 25 metres.
Modern war machines or medieval battles, it doesn't seem to me as if we have come very far. I think most of us are familiar with the anti-war protest slogan, bombing for peace is like fucking for virginity, and I wonder, will we ever learn? And when I say we, I mean the collective we, the we that are one, the we that finally ensures that the wheel of karma comes to a stop.
We are approaching the east end of Loch Ness, and it looks like we're gonna sail right up on the beach into the bushes. But there are port and starboard markers, so clearly there is a channel, just not visible from here.
It was strange seeing port and starboard markers. After having hundreds of metres below Altor's keel, we were now in a place where we could have easily banged her bottom, and let me assure you, in boat terms, that's not a good thing. So once again, concentrating on the now is the best strategy.
Today and not tomorrow, there's no time to borrow. Today.
You know, it says here that it's a reserved berth.
Okay, well, never underestimate the power of denial.
Yeah, I know I bang on and on about the now. But have you noticed, if all we do is worry about tomorrow, we fail to see that our now is crumbling away before our very eyes. And who the hell invented the expression saving for a rainy day? Why on earth do you want to spend it on a rainy day? Spend it while the sun is shining. Spend it while life is glorious. Spend it while there's blood coursing through your veins. And don't forget, inside of each and every one of us, that means inside of you too, there is your own unique song. And if you don't sing that song while you're here, who the hell is going to sing it when you're gone? So open up, express yourself, grab life by the balls, simply because today is a good day to live.
Hello, Nessie.
Nessie is alive. After about 55 miles of countryside and bliss, we can now see a roundabout, and the sirens you can hear are them opening the swing bridge. Middle-aged statement coming up here. Through the entire canal, this one and also Crinan, there's some lovely old school buildings, which to me are just so cute and blend so well with the surroundings. And then along comes modern times and we build that. Do you think the person who designed that went to any kind of architectural school? I don't think so. I think when he's not drawing buildings, he's drawing stickmen.
It's a good day today. It's a good day to live.
Oh, you must visit Tomnahurich Cemetery, is what we were told. Perched on Tomnahurich Hill, it is unlike any other cemetery that we have visited before and felt almost otherworldly to us. So here it is.
When I was a child, I used to collect those because they smell kind of like pine, absolutely gorgeous, and I would stuff them in a glass bottle that used to contain liqueur, and it looks beautiful and smells beautiful as well. So that's a memory for me.
I know I'm not alone in having some kind of inexplicable fascination for cemeteries. I was tempted to say morbid there, but I don't really believe in that, to be honest. What I do know is that I've been to a few cemeteries and most of them have a feeling of somewhat of despair about them, but not here. And maybe that's because there's no big church building looming over the place, and I'm not being disparaging towards churches, but the absence of a church here is noticeable, and maybe the high vantage point does something to it. But it's a rather incredible place, and I'm tempted to think about all the people here that were, and then I remind myself that that's not what I believe. I think the people here are all that ever has been and all that ever will be, just like each and every one of us. Because I believe in a singularity, a single source, a single creation of light from which we come and which we return. So it's only in this flesh suit world of separation where we really do feel, and are made to feel like individuals, but no, I don't buy it. We are all everything that ever has been and everything that ever will be, and I find beauty in that.
I know that the journey here is sometimes a bit up and down and in and out. And the truth is that I don't know where it's going from one minute to the next either. But then again, I don't find much joy in predictability. And that brings me nicely onto a bit of news. I'm afraid that you're not going to be seeing much content posted on this channel for the foreseeable future. Asher and I are embarking on another adventure. It's not an adventure that takes us away from Altor of Down, but it is an adventure that means that we have some studying to do now before we fly to Bali later on this year to study the spiritual practice that is Tantra.
We've had a great time in the Caledonian Canal, and we are now in the last freshwater lock, about to be joined by the last boat, which is coming up behind Asher, and then we have to wait for the tide to be high enough on the outside, which I think is going to happen in 20 minutes time. Then the lock gates will open and we'll be flushed out into the Moray Firth, back into the free open sea. That is going to be great.
The last gate of the Caledonian Canal is opening and we are about to go out into Moray Firth. I'm very excited. Although I will miss the Caledonian Canal, it was an awesome journey. But here we go, the adventure goes on.
The adventure does indeed go on for each and every one of us. Thank you very much for being part of our journey up to this point. After our study break, we will be posting more adventures on board Altor of Down on this channel, so please stay tuned if you wish to see what we get up to in the future. But for now, Asher and I wish you all the joy, love and happiness in your adventure now. Altor out.